For example, there was a time when she was in Poland for a few years where she was performing regularly at the Polish Opera. And a little story about that. We went to Poland, we went to Warsaw, and we were digging around in there, at the Opera Theater. And we had a very extraordinary experience. It's not in the book, but this experience. It's raining. We're standing outside the Opera House, Opera Theater in Poland, in Warsaw, looking, kind of through the windows of the doors to the opera. It's closed, can't open the door. And a guy comes out from inside. This is in the morning, around 10 o'clock. A guy comes out from the opera, and he sees us kind of looking through the doors. He says, "You looking to get inside?" And we say, "Yeah, we're from Canada, and we're doing this book and theater, and we're shooting some film." He says, "Well, come on in." And he had an art display there. He was a painter, and he had a whole art display. So he's showing us this art display. We couldn't see the theater itself, but just the foyer. And we're going with through the foyer, looking at his artwork. And we pass this statue. Oh, and we look closely, and it's a statue of Solomea, of Krushelnytska,
Wow.
Solomea from the book.
Wow. Well, that's yeah.
You
That
know,
speaks to her obvious her stardom
yeah,
fame
yeah.
at the time. You talk about
Especially since they got pretty nasty towards her there for a while, didn't they?
After, in the later part of her performances there were some
bad reviews.
outbreaks during her performances, and now there was a clash there um, over
Over I guess nationalism, really.
nationality. Yeah, like she would never. She always affirmed, "Look, I'm a Ukrainian. I'm a Ukrainian by root. My roots are Ukrainian. I'm a Ukrainian singer." But when she went to Italy and she performed in Italy, she became part of an Italian troupe that toured, and she was in Tsarist Russia, in Odessa and St. Petersburg with this Italian troupe, and she was called an Italian opera star. And there was an interview done by a journalist, and his report ended up in the Polish newspapers, and some Polish sort of patriots got upset that she's calling herself an Italian opera star when she was trained in what then was Poland, or under Polish rule anyway. And there was some debate over, well, is she Italian opera, or Polish, or Ukrainian, and so on. And that kind of spilled over into her performances to the point where she loved Poland. It's not that she hated Poland or she didn't like Polish opera. In fact, Halka, which was one of the great Polish operas, was her favorite. And there's a quotation, I can't give you the
She's a
exact
singer of
quotation.
the Italian school, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. That's what she said. But in singing Halka, just as a description of how powerful she was in that Polish opera, one of the journalists wrote, when she sang, and it was a sad, sad song in the Halka opera. It made your flesh crawl to hear her cries in the opera.